Hello, I'm Pastor Joe, and welcome to 2 Minute Tuesdays Together. And today we're going to continue our conversation on fear-free evangelism. So in our last video, we did start talking about evangelism, and specifically, this series is titled Fear-Free Evangelism. Evangelism is one of those things that often incites rapid heartbeats and a little anxiety in people. But I don't think it has to be. We just need to think it through, because the reality is all of us, all believers, all Christians are called to be evangelists. We are all called to share our faith, to share the gospel story, the good news of Jesus Christ. I'm hoping that we will help you do that in these series of videos. Now, in our first video, we really talked about what is evangelism. So if you didn't look at that, you can either go now and watch that, or watch that after this one. I'll link it in the description below. But what I want to do today is we're going to talk about your story and how we need to be prepared to tell that. So let's get 2 minutes on the clock and let's go. So we will talk at another time about sharing the gospel story and sharing about Jesus. But today I want to talk about your story, because we all need to be able to share what our experience with Jesus Christ is and how we have experienced His presence and His love and His grace. So there's a series of questions that I would recommend to you, and I think these are good for us all to reflect on from time to time. Let's begin with, what is your experience of God's presence in your life? Think through and write down, just little notes. When have you experienced God, and what was that like? Another question is, how have you witnessed God working and moving, not only in your life, but in the world around you? How do you see God's presence lived out? We need to be able to verbalize that. Not just say He's present, but to say, I've seen it, I've experienced it. When did you first recognize or become aware of God's presence in your life? You know, I was fortunate to be raised in the church, and I'm so thankful for that. But I also know as I've gotten older, I've experienced a renewal of my faith and experienced in deeper ways. When has that happened to you? And get that in your mind. I think it's important to think about, when have you felt closest to God? What was going on, and how did you experience that? I would encourage you to think about, what are those most celebratory times in life, and also the times of deepest crisis and struggle, and how was God there? When you look back, how do you see God moving there? And then I would think about, who have been the biggest influences in your life, in your Christian life, in your Christian walk. You know, as we get these questions in our minds, we can then be better able to share these answers with others and let them know what our story, our experiences is. And then they can see through our eyes how faith is lived and experienced in this world. Well, look, I hope these questions are helpful. I'll list these questions in the description below as well if you want to be able to look at them and review them. I encourage you to share this video with others, hit like, and if you take a moment, just if you haven't already, hit subscribe to this channel.